Alright, so I've got a bunch of articles up here on archive that I want to talk about real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on each one because these are just mostly stupid, idiotic stories that really aren't of concern to most people. First one is, if you're going to preview Far Cry 6, at least do it right. It's from Kotaku, so you know it's trash. But it's from Ethan Gatch. And he bitches about the usual stuff about, well, they're not covering the politics as much because it's complicated. It's basically he's talking like this is the game's a stand-in for Cuba, the in game world. And he goes on and he talks about all these previews that aren't covering the political situation and stuff, and then, they're talking about how, oh, it's a huge game in every sense. It looks to be a big, beautiful game and stuff. And he bitches about it some, and then hold on to your butts because I'm gonna scroll down a bit. Basically, Kotaku wasn't invited to this preview, by the way, which I'm sure he's also pissed off about that. Anyway, this is the part I want to talk about. Meanwhile, some writers who might have been able to provide alternative perspectives were shut out of the process. I was kindly invited to cover that build for an outlet to offer a Latinx perspective. That's your first mistake. No real Latin people say Latinx. That's fucking stupid. It's Latino, Latina. The O and the A are very important. To say Latinx is just fucking stupid. And no Latin person I know says that. They say it's dumb. Anyway, but it said Ubisoft declined since I'm not based in the U.S. According to what a Ubisoft rep told him, that was because of concerns over server ping time since the Far Cry demo would be run over Parsec. The feel of the gameplay was the priority, it seems, rather than the story and its political trappings. So this guy's bitching about the fact that the feel of the gameplay in a video game is the priority, rather than the fucking story. It's like, you fucking idiot. Alright, so we move on. This is an archive from a tweet that Sophia Norwoods had put up. And Luke Plunkett once misrepresented the majority of gamers who were upset at the historical retcons of Battlefield 5. This after DICE pitched it as them wanting to tell untold true stories of World War II before them changing things. And now he's complaining about historical retcon in Call of Duty. In the new Call of Duty, for some reason, there's a Kiwi, a New Zealand war hero, that is basically turned into an Australian. Now, I will agree that is kind of, like, dumb. Because it's like, why? Why would they do that? It doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. I mean, is it a huge deal? Not to me. But, but Plunkett here, which he had just put an article up complaining about this, he was also talking about how, a bunch of chuds were upset about women in Battlefield 5 and stuff. And as Sophia would put in one of her replies, they were wanted to tell the lesser known true stories. But then the game changed things like the Norwegians' heavy water sabotage mission and the one being pulled off by a mother and daughter. Which, okay, well, they changed things. So people were upset about it because it's not historically accurate. And then, of course, Plunkett completely misses the mark. Because, he's another fucking moron out there who wants outrage clicks and all that kind of bullshit. The other one, this is from Kotaku again. It's called, Please Free Me from the Bad Takes About China's Gaming Restrictions. But basically, China has, for younger people, has instituted a policy that they can play 1 hour each on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. As far as I know. And as far as I know, it hasn't changed or nothing. I haven't checked the news this morning yet. I doubt it will because it's China. But she's basically trying to talk about, well, we can't be sitting there and talking about, as she says right here, there's no one size fits all would take when you're dealing with millions of diverse gamers and everything. And it's just fucking stupid. China's trying to limit the amount of time you can game. That's a parent's job, not the fucking government's job. The government should not be involved in telling you how to live your life. I understand the whole, hey, it can be addictive, kids can spiral and so on and so forth. I get it. But they shouldn't mandate these things. It's one of the reasons that the Chinese government sucks. Anyway, the fourth article, Cowboy Bebop's Faye Valentine backlash is absurd. It's from Screen Rant, of course, some pissant guy. He's whining about it, and again, hold on to your butts because I'm gonna go about halfway down, talking about the controversy. Began following the release of still photos, blah blah blah. You know, talking about a dark-skinned Mustafa Shakur playing Jet Black, who was a lighter-skinned black man in the original anime. I don't think he was black, based on what I remember, but it ain't a big deal either way. I mean, if he was black, I mean in the anime. Now, getting a dark-skinned man to play him, I don't care if the guy's a good actor, but if they got him just because of his skin color, I'd be offended if I was him. But anyway, and he goes on, he talks about her Instagram apology, quote unquote, and how this was it's pitch perfect for the character of Faye Valentine, and blah blah blah, and all that kind of bullshit. And he said, here's the real part. Ignoring the absurdity of believing that creative personnel would actively work to drive away the established fan base of a popular property and waste millions of dollars in developing a property they did not believe in. These complaints about Netflix's Cowboy Bebop adaptation make little sense. Well, they make little sense because, number one, they're true, so people like this clown who wrote this shit would have no idea, because he doesn't live in reality. He doesn't live in the same place you and me live in. He lives in like SJW land or woke land where, everything is how I want it to be. The reality is, the real world is tough, it's hard, and it sucks. Everybody's got to deal with it. Everybody gets bullshit. Every single race, both genders, on and on. Everybody's got to deal with the same bullshit. Now you may have it worse in this area, but I'd have it worse in this area, and then someone else would have it worse in another area. It's life is not how you want it to be. Life, you have to adapt to life. Life will not adapt to you. But anyway, we know that there are people, there are higher ups in these companies who care less about making a bunch of money, and because it's all about putting the message out there. And we know that because they've said that shit. Because movie after movie has bombed when they've gone too far with it. Like I said before, you can have diversity and inclusion and all that kind of stuff. You can have all that in your movie, your TV show, your whatever, and things will be fine. Things can be a success. But that can't be the top priority. You have to worry more about the writing, the acting, the directing, the cinematography, the costuming, on and on, right on down the line. If those things are not your top priority, it doesn't matter how inclusive and diverse you are, because no one's going to want to see it because it's going to suck. It's just going to be bad. Anyway, okay. I'll wrap up here with an article about Comedy Central removed this episode of The Office from its lineup. It was the Diversity Day Office, or Diversity Day episode of The Office. I guess Comedy Central had done a marathon of The Office. There's the cast. Saw it. And basically, in it, Michael decides to hold his own diversity training because some of the people are upset about him recreating Chris Rock's stand-up routine, including some of the words I won't say here, of course. But they do this funny part where they all have an index card taped to their forehead, and they're supposed to emulate it, what it is and stuff. And of course, Michael is extremely over the top with his ignorance and his stupidity and stuff. His dumb stereotypes and all that kind of stuff. And then Kelly ends up slapping him, which is like the climax of the episode. It's one of the, it's one of the good parts. This is back when they didn't do Kelly the way that they did, because this is an early episode. So she wasn't as quite boisterous and over time she became more, trying to think of the best way to describe it, because it's a good thing to me. She in this one she was still more. They did her more kind of reserved and stuff. Later, they let her truly, let loose and everything. Mindy Kaling, the actress. So it was, and the character became funnier in my opinion. I don't know how anyone else feels about Kelly, but anyway. But it's just stupid that they would remove it. The whole point of it is that Michael is being stupid. He's being ignorant. We laugh at him because of his stupidity and his ignorance. That's the point. That's the idea. No one's sitting there watching that being like, oh yeah, Michael's the greatest guy in the world. Now, we know, but it also served an important lesson because Michael he doesn't say these things maliciously. You know, he doesn't say these things with like a venom or whatever. He's not like some, you know, racist KKK guy or whatever. He just doesn't know better. He's ignorant. But that's where the humor comes from. Because he doesn't know better, that's what makes it funny. You know, we're laughing at him being stupid. And of course, they completely miss the whole point of it because all these SJW woke types are just too damn stupid to understand nuance and stuff. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Damn, I actually went 10.5 minutes. I didn't mean to go this long. Uh, I'll try not to make videos this long anymore, but thank you very much for watching and have a good one.